Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Family Love Letter. This is installment number 5 of the Family Love Letter webinar. Welcome this morning to that webinar. All right. So today we're going to be discussing our final installment of the Family Love Letter concept. So for those of you who have joined us previously, we have gone through quite a bit of this Family Love Letter document that we mailed out to you. I am Debbie Faulkner, the principal of Burke Faulkner Law, but we are presenting this. My law firm underwrote this seminar through the Gulf Coast Estate Planning Council, which is a community group of professionals in the financial and legal industries that have joined together to try to reduce the amount of people that do not have their estate planning documents. In the United States, approximately 70% of people do not have their estate planning documents, and our mission is to help to reduce that number in the greater Tampa Bay area. So in our first few installments of the Family Love Letter, we have gone through, we started back in section 4 of talking about, or section 5 with our family history and ethical will concept. Through that concept and through that part of the book, you're able to talk about your important family history, some information that you'd like to pass on to your children or to your family, passing on wisdom and nuggets of information that you want to pass through the generations. You're able to do a family mission statement and able to write, how you hope that your family will spend its inheritance. You are also able to write down important values and traditions that you want to pass along to your family. In the section 4 that we went over in the first and the second installments of the Family Love Letter, we asked for you to gather information together to take care of filling out your digital assets and talking about where your digital accounts are held and what the passwords are for those digital accounts and what the security answers and questions are, so that in the event that you have passed, your family has access to your accounts. As we move more and more into the digital age, your digital assets become more valuable. I just met with a client this morning whose mother passed away on Friday, and we have to gather asset information and gather debt information. Most people nowadays don't receive paper statements in the mail. So the old school method of gathering information out of the mailbox to see what mom or dad had or didn't have is becoming obsolete as we move forward in time. So the digital asset section that we went over a few weeks ago is very important to keep up to date. And on that point, with the Family Love Letter that we mailed you, we do also have available a digital version, a digital key that is encrypted, upon which you can enter your Family Love Letter information. So you can contact us if you would like more information about receiving one of those keys. If you are watching, I invite you to subscribe to our page so you can be updated and continue to receive updates and information about future seminars. We also talked briefly a couple weeks ago about how you'd like to plan for your pets. Pets are a very important part of our families these days, especially for someone like me who doesn't have children. I only have pets. We talked a little bit about writing in here how we would like for our pets to be planned for. We also have gone over our insurance coverages. We asked for you to gather your documents and your information. In seminar 1, this is seminar 5, so hopefully you've finished data gathering and have been able to fill out section 3 about your insurance and your benefits. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about sections 1 and 2 of the Family Love Letter, which covers your advisors and assets and your debts and liabilities. And also, this kind of parlays into the other sections that we've already gone over. One of the important things about gathering your data together, especially when it comes to gathering your insurance policies, your IRA information, your 401k information, your pension plans. It is important that you gather together the actual raw information from your statements. For example, if I asked you if you prepared and gathered all your documents, you might say, yeah, I gathered all my statements together. But one critical piece of information is omitted from your statements, generally speaking, and that is the beneficiaries on each of these important accounts. So for, in our section 1 of the Family Love Letter, starting on page 6, it talks about the titling of assets, and it talks about you have sections to fill out about your IRAs and about your retirement plans, your qualified retirement plans, and your stock options, your deferred compensation plans. Guys, it is important to fill out these sections in total, because these sections not only include, the owner of the account, that you own the account, or the company that holds your account, but also includes a place, contact information. But while you are filling this out, it is very important to review your beneficiary designations. Now, there are 2 reasons for that. First, in my career, there's a lot of times when people forget to change their beneficiary designations. So guys, if you come to me and we do a perfectly drafted will and trust plan that leaves everything to your kids equally, but you forgot that you had your IRA given to your ex-spouse and forgot to update your beneficiary designation, your IRA, if you pass away, will go to your ex-spouse. What I'm trying to say is your beneficiary designations trump your estate plan. Pardon the expression, but the beneficiary designations do, if they are not incorporated into your plan and thought through, can defeat your actual goals. And so in the state of Florida, if you forget or don't manage to redo your will and you have an ex-spouse named as a beneficiary under your will, the law has a safeguard in place that says that your ex-spouse is treated as having died before you, because most people don't want to actually leave their ex-spouse their entire estate. But there is no such law that protects you from leaving your IRAs, your 401ks, your qualified plans, your pension plans to your ex-spouse. So if your beneficiary designations do not get updated, you could inadvertently leave a significant part of your assets to an ex-spouse. So that's an important part of handling your overall estate. The other parts of the sections 1 and 2 have you list out where all of your assets are located in terms of your stocks, your real estate, your property, anybody who owes you money. And so also often forgotten about assets. Like on page 14, it goes over my frequent flyer miles and other rewards programs. A lot of us, not so much in the days of COVID-19, but a lot of us travel for work and might have significant value of airline miles or credit card points built up onto our accounts, and those are also transferable in the event of passing. I just met with a young woman this morning who lost her mother, and we were talking about how many American Express points her mother had left behind. So if you inadvertently cancel the credit card before transferring the points out, those points are lost. So these are just like, if somebody has that in their family love letter and we know about it, we can work to get those assets transferred before they are lost, before the value of those points are lost. Something else I just wanted to touch on real quick. I don't know whether you who are watching already have your estate plan finished, or whether you are in the process of preparing to do your estate plan. But if you are in installment 5 of the Family Love Letter, you are primed and ready to complete your estate plan, or at least to revisit your estate plan if you already have your estate plan, to make sure that it is fully coordinated. One of the things that the Family Love Letter does a great job of doing is on page 30, it goes over personal property. So in my career as a probate and estate planning attorney, a lot of times when mom or dad passes, the arguments that ensue have to do with personal property. Mom's china, mom's jewelry, dad's gun collection, or military awards for mom or dad. It's personal property that belongs to you that your family may fight over. The family love letter provides on page 30 a way of documenting who you want to receive personal property. But guys, this is not a legal document. As part of a proper estate plan, at my firm, we provide you with what's called a separate writing memorandum that goes with your will and your trust. And on that document, you are able to put down who is to receive specific items of your property. The beauty of having a legally effectual document that gives away personal property is that it keeps at bay some of the more difficult arguments that your children will get into over stuff that really has no monetary value but is very meaningful to them. So, and the other part about having a separate writing as part of your estate plan is that you can update and change your separate writing without coming back to the law office at any time. So if you have a plan and you don't have a separate writing that goes with that plan, I would advise that you do have one incorporated into your will or incorporated into your trust, because it would allow you to, at any time, you can fill out this piece of paper, say, I want, Johnny to receive my china, I want Susie to receive my diamond ring, et cetera, and you can supplement that list at any time, provided that you put a copy with your original will or your original trust. And because so many arguments and so many after death arguments ensue over personal property, I really think that this is a very important part of having your estate plan. And on that point, for any of you who have already done your estate plan, we have a short video that we can send you out that talks about the 5 important elements of your estate plan that are included in addition to your will or your trust. So one of the differences between just having a will or trust and having a comprehensive plan, that's what an estate plan references, is that an estate plan includes a will or a trust or both, plus it includes 5 lifetime directives. Those 5 lifetime directives are your healthcare directives, your HIPAA form, your designation of healthcare surrogate, your designation of pre-need guardian, and a living will. And it also includes your durable power of attorney, which is the person that you name to take care of your financial decisions in your stead if you are, in need of that type of assistance at this time. There are different nuances that go with those documents, but it is very important that you have up-to-date documents, because if you don't have somebody that is able to talk to a healthcare provider on your behalf or go to a financial institution on your behalf, that can result in catastrophic, results if you actually need somebody to make a healthcare choice for you, or you need something done financially and you're simply unable to go on your own behalf because maybe you're stuck inside, as most of us are at the moment. You may need somebody to help you out with those things. The other part about part 1 of the family love letter is that you fill in a list of your critical advisors. So this is very important because at the time that somebody passes away is not the time for your children or your family to be left wondering who to call. How am I going to get help with this? What am I supposed to do? Like the young lady that I met with this morning, her mom passed on Friday and she called me on Friday, frantic and upset. She's worried that she's going to do something wrong. She's worried that she doesn't know what she's doing. That's what your important advisors are for, guys. That's why it's important to write in here who your financial professional is, who your estate planning attorney is, because these are the individuals that are there to help your family through this critical time of need. All right, I'm going to call up Glenn Pisani, who has also dedicated his time here to the Gold Coast Estate Planning Council, and he's going to be reviewing another part of the family love letter. Come on up, Glenn.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, it's number 5. Wow, we've made it all the way to the end of this process, and hopefully you've done it. And I mean by that, done it is if you remember in earlier sessions, I've talked about how long I've worked with the Family Love Letter personally with my clients, and it has been since 2006. So my concern and my true heartfelt hopes and prayers are that you have done this, because in my history of being in this industry and financial advising, planning for almost 25 years now, is that you don't get around to it, right? You maybe get started and then something else gets in the way. A couple of things I want to make sure that while we're cleaning this up in this last session, that we really kind of make sure that we get this out to you, and hopefully you are going to finish up the process. And it is not one that just gets done here, right? We can think about how many things change in our lifetime. And that's other thing I think that's a critical point is updating things. This is an awesome document, whether we do it digitally. We had many phone calls and questions about how to get the digital key. It is something that we can get for you. We do have a supply here. They are $40. That is our cost. In fact, if you go to their website, Family Love Letter, because the people who started the Family Love Letter, Donna Pagano, does have a website. I think we're a lot cheaper than what's on the website. So anyway, we mentioned that it's $40, and that's going to be able to get through what's important, get that through Debbie's firm. Why is the digital one important? I'm finding that people have a lot of what I would refer to as digital assets. They have family pictures now. They're all on digital. A lot of the documents are saved as PDFs. And so you have space on the key, which is encrypted and something that is very safe. I mean, it's much better than just a thumb drive, is a way to store all that stuff. So what I find is the next question is, okay, Glenn, I got all this stuff. If it's in box form, and I always refer to that magical, mystical box, just tell everybody where that's at. Should probably be fireproof, right? Fireproof and waterproof. And the reason we mention that is we are in the beautiful state of Florida, which has a tendency to have hurricanes and things like that could possibly damage those documents. But if it's digital, we need to have something that is encrypted, that is protected, but we also want to make sure that is something that we can update and we can keep adding to. So that's why a lot of people are liking the digital assets part of it with the key. I want to go back to something that Debbie said, and unfortunately in this way, we don't know how many of you have done your estate planning, either with Debbie or somebody else, or haven't. And so my concern would be, I have had this ongoing, I would call it a bet, I guess, with the people I work with over all these years. And the phrase goes like this: oh, I've done that. I've got everything taken care of. I'm good. I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to talk to my estate planning attorney. It's all good. I took care of it. And what I realize is making a little bet with people, and I make the wager a lot of different things. I love wine. I'm Italian, so I usually bet a bottle of wine or something. And I go, guess what? I will take a quick review of everything, and I will find something that is incorrect or not updated. And so far, I got to tell you my batting average is 100%, because it's not something you people out there do every day. We live, eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and there's things that have changed. So I'll look at people's documents. I go, these are really great documents, but I don't see any reference to digital assets. And even if you're working with Debbie, I mean, I don't know when your estate planning was done. State of Florida, major changes in estate planning in 2011. So guess what? If your documents are older than 2011, we really need to have somebody take a look at it and review it. And so I find that a lot of times in Florida, we have a lot of snowbirds, and they have assets outside of the state of Florida. Those are either come and gone. I mean, I have a client right now who bought a place in Denver, a condo for the family to enjoy. And they didn't think anything about it. They go, yeah, we're so excited, we got this. And I go, well, did you think about how to update your estate planning? And I go, you now own this a property, real estate in another state. And they're going, yeah, so what? And I said, well, let's think about what happens if you pass away or when you pass away. And they were like, oh, I never thought of that. So my bet still is on for anybody out there, anytime, bottle of wine, usually red, but you will find, and we will find things that are just not done correctly. So it's hard for Debbie sometimes to say that, but it's easy for me to say that. But the people who haven't done their estate planning, that's where we get on our soapbox from this Gulf Coast Estate Planning Council and go, listen, please get it done. I can say this, and again, Debbie can't. Don't go to Legal 103, Zoom, whatever, online and try to do this. There's some things you just don't try to do at home. The argument would be cost, and I get that. But I want you to understand that the time in which you spend and the cost in which you spend to make this done correctly now is nothing compared to probate. We've already been through this before in previous sessions. If you need just a 5 seconds update, it's 3%. So do the math on 3% on the back end. And oh, by the way, we remember the state of Florida has lovely attorneys that run everything. And so if your estate is worth $75,000, that's everything together, right? That you're going to go to probate. So do the math. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but would an attorney rather have the few bucks they make on legal documents up front, or would they rather have the 3% on the back end? And frankly, you can't argue with dead people. So probate is a very profitable thing for attorneys. And the reason I'm saying that, because I'm not one. So anyway, I don't want to go on and on. I want to just address two things. Main things are, one, if you have estate plannings, documents, and you have an estate plan, the documents are not the plan, right? We talked about that. That's kind of where I get people to focus on. They have beautiful documents. They haven't titled anything in the trust, and they haven't done all the things funding the trust, putting things in there, deciding what they want to do charities. One of the things I want to talk about is really critical. This whole change in the way in which taxes are now are done. Everybody's really happy tax rates have reduced, but we do a lot of work with charities and nonprofits, and we're seeing them not only in this pandemic issue, but prior to that, is there's no advantageous tax benefit in giving money to charities as much as it was. So what we try to coach our clients on is the idea of giving certain assets that, like IRAs and things like that, to a percentage of it to charities. And that's a strategy that I think has to be really focused on more. If you want to talk more about those situations, please, Debbie and I do a lot of work with clients through the Estate Planning Council in a conversation or an email. Again, you can go to info at Gulf Coast EPC meaning Estate Planning Council.org. I had some people get confused. I can't get there. It's .org, not .com. And you can actually go to our website and you can communicate with some of the professionals that are part of our council and get some of these questions answered, which are, I'm really, really hoping to, I'm really hoping that you will understand that this, if you don't have questions at this point, I'm concerned. There should be some questions in your mind about this whole process. So I don't know if we also have a few minutes left. We've got 5 minutes left. If you have any questions, please make sure to give them to us. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. We've got a lot of different areas that we've had people ask us about moving forward from here. For instance, one of the areas that we're really excited about, and it's interesting, is financial literacy for our kids, even adult kids and grandkids. There's a lot of concern in the estate planning process is you go, hey, honey, do you really think Billy Bob could handle this? If we passed away tomorrow, would he or she, my son, my daughter, really be financially, I would use the word astute enough to handle our estate? Do we need to kind of think of some ways to protect that money from themselves a lot? So we're diving off into some really interesting web-based type of education associated with financial literacy. And it's focused really at the high end. It starts at, believe it or not, the area what we're finding most of the people who are requesting this are children that are either in college or have just graduated from college. We have a little bit of work on the high school senior area, but it's funny how a lot of clients are seeing their poor kids go off to college, get a really nice degree, and have a bunch of debt associated with that degree. And then they're starting off behind the 8 ball to begin with. And so they're just going, you know what, I can't help my son or my daughter to try to navigate through this. I need some help. So we have offered up this web-based type of programming. So I just want to get Debbie up here for the last 5 minutes. She deserves the last 5 minutes of our Family Love Letter. A couple of things. I'm going to just take a couple of highlights of some of the notes that we have. And some of the highlights that are most important that I have to kind of drum home, and Debbie will talk a little bit about this. These are stuff that's not monetary at all. I want you to focus on one thing and one reason to do the Family Love Letter, and it's not financial. Preserve family relationships. You do not know how many family relationships I have seen either severely damaged or ultimately annihilated over when mom and dad dies. It is almost 100% somebody is bent out of shape, something happens, and it is always associated with something that was either said or not documented. It's always the speculation afterwards. So I'm going to finish up and just say 2 things. Number 1, get your house in order. Remember, everybody's got a junk drawer and there's a bunch of stuff in there. And if someone had to go through it and they found a key and they didn't know where the key went, what would they do? So I thank you so much. We really, really appreciate anybody who's serious about this process. We do get out there and speak in a bunch of groups. I spoke to a large church a couple of months ago. So we do go out on the street when we're allowed to and speak to any type of organization or any group that you think this process of the Family Love Letter would be beneficial. I'm going to finish off on one note that I really kind of think I have to, and I only mention this because I'm really concerned. I just wanted to check and make sure. Yeah, so there is a document that we're going to be sending out to our clients and people we work with about this marketing, what's going on. And we just want you to understand, whoever the advisor you're working with, there's probably going to be some more sell-offs here, and we're concerned about that. Bonds are really scary for me in the 25 years history I've seen. So I want everybody to promise they'll go out and talk to their advisor and just get an update on what they're doing to adjust your portfolios and your money at this point. I'm not trying to scare anybody. We just see a lot of indications of red lights flashing that we've got some more downside. So I want to finish off on that because personally, I think that people have just gotten annihilated with what's going on, and it's been emotionally very difficult. And I don't want another downside to add to that. So thank you so much, Deb. Sorry, got a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for doing this and supporting the Gulf Coast Estate Planning Council and the Family Love Letter. So I'll let you finish up.
Very good. Thank you very much, Glenn. And I just want to thank you all for joining us for our final installment. I just want to make a quick comment that, for those of you who have had your estate plan for a few years, many of you may not know that in December, on the 23rd of December, Congress passed a new act called the Secure Act that changes the way that we can leave beneficiaries our IRAs. So in the past, if you left an IRA to your children, they could use their lifetime and stretch out that IRA over their lifetime and really be able to grow that IRA for their benefit for their retirement. In December 23rd, the Congress decided, everyone was paying attention to other things, to pass a law that requires that your IRAs be paid out over the course of 10 years only. So this could fundamentally change some of your estate plans and what you envisioned for your children, depending on how much of your assets are wrapped in your IRA. I know that's a very specific, but we will have another seminar in the future about the Secure Act to go more into detail about that because it is such a monumental change in estate planning. And on that point, I just want to close by saying your loved ones are going to have to live with the results of your plan or your failure to plan. So hopefully, you will give this to your family as a gift in the time of confusion. And our gift to you is helping you finish this family love letter. This is to give your family both your non-financial inheritance and to help you properly plan to leave your financial inheritance to your family in the way that you wish. So we hope that you've enjoyed this series of seminars. Please contact us if you have any questions or concerns. It is very important to go through all of the elements of this. When I did probate meeting this morning with the client, sections 1 and 2, guys, that's what probate or trust administration in this case are. Having a trust, her mom has caused her to avoid probate, but we still need to know about assets and liabilities and where everything is located. And that's what this would be, an absolute gift to this poor woman, the only survivor of her mom, who now has to go digging through mom's stuff to try to find everything that's not really all in one place. So I hope that you do fill this out as a gift to your family and as our gift to you to be able to organize yourself. And I hope that you will join us for future seminars. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and email us if you have any ideas for content or you want us to speak about specific topics. We're always welcome to that. Our email is info@gulfcoastepc.org. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.